Crescencio Somerville sends a clear message by tearing through Tottenham's defenders and showing exactly what it means to wear the West Ham shirt. With West Ham desperate for defensive stability, the green light for Jamal Lascelles could mark a turning point in the battle for survival. Before we begin, remember to like the video, subscribe for more West Ham content, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let's get straight into it. Crescencio Somerville was decisive in West Ham United's 2-1 victory over Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday in a derby loaded with meaning. The winger opened the scoring and tormented the opposition defense from start to finish, combining pace, bravery, and personality in what became one of his most striking performances in a West Ham shirt. Playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Somerville showed from the opening minutes that he was ready to take responsibility. His early goal shifted the emotional and tactical balance of the match, giving West Ham belief and control against a historic rival in a hostile environment. After finding the net, Somerville ran straight towards the bench to embrace manager Nuno Espirito Santo. The gesture carried strong symbolism, underlining that the players are fully behind the head coach and united in a period where pressure has surrounded the club. In recent weeks, there had been speculation linking Somerville with a potential exit, with Galatasaray reportedly monitoring his situation ahead of the January transfer window. On the pitch, however, the Dutchman's attitude and commitment made it clear that his focus remains entirely on West Ham. At just 24 years of age, the former Leeds United forward is hitting an important run of form. If he maintains this level of performance, he could play a decisive role in keeping West Ham in the Premier League, offering goals, assists, and constant threat in the final third. Against Tottenham, his electric pace and close control caused endless problems for the defenders. Yet it was not only his technical quality that resonated with supporters. Somerville showed hunger, desire, and a genuine willingness to fight for the badge on his chest. Speaking after the match, he admitted that he did not fully understand the depth of the rivalry when he first joined the club. However, he explained that the staff and those around the club made its importance clear, and that he has now taken it personally. By describing himself as a real hammer, Somerville struck a powerful chord with the fan base. For West Ham supporters, seeing a foreign signing quickly embrace the culture, history, and rivalries of the club is exactly what they want from a player wearing claret and blue. Looking ahead, the hope within the club is that Somerville can sustain this momentum for the remainder of the season. His acceleration, dribbling, and ability to break defensive lines give West Ham a different dimension in attack, something they have often lacked. If the forwards around him begin converting chances more consistently, West Ham could find themselves in a far healthier position. Somerville's display against Tottenham was among his very best since arriving, and there is a growing belief that this may only be the beginning. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the claret and blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. West Ham United are actively assessing the market with defensive stability firmly at the top of their priorities, and Jamal Lascelles has emerged as a name under serious internal consideration. The club's interest reflects a clear recognition that their defensive structure has not met Premier League demands this season, forcing the hierarchy to explore experienced and reliable options. The Hammers' defensive struggles have been evident for months, with goals conceded undermining otherwise competitive performances. In that context, Lascelles represents a profile that West Ham currently lack. A centre-back with leadership qualities, physical presence, and deep familiarity with the intensity of English top-flight football. Discussions regarding Lascelles are understood to have taken place internally, focusing on whether his experience could outweigh the risks associated with his recent injury history. At 32, the Newcastle defender would not be viewed as a long-term project, but rather as a stabilizing figure capable of organizing the backline. A key element of the analysis centers on his fitness. Lascelles has been sidelined since October with a muscular injury, a setback that has limited him to just 2 league appearances and a combined 19 minutes of action this season. Naturally, this raises concerns about match sharpness and immediate readiness. Those concerns were addressed by injury expert and sports scientist Dr. Rajpal Brar, who offered a balanced assessment of the situation. From a positive perspective, he highlighted that Lascelles is a Premier League proven defender who could be available at a reduced cost due to his lack of game time and current standing at Newcastle. On the negative side, the extended absence through injury and limited minutes this campaign present challenges in terms of fitness and the ability to make an instant impact. Even so, the overall verdict suggests that, given West Ham's defensive record, the move could represent a calculated gamble rather than a reckless one. At present, there is no indication that a transfer is imminent. No formal contact has been made between West Ham and Newcastle, nor with intermediaries representing the player. Lascelles remains one of several defensive options being monitored as the January window progresses. However, the situation remains fluid. Should West Ham fail to secure their primary defensive targets, attention could quickly turn towards alternatives like Lascelles. The urgency to reinforce at the back means plans can shift rapidly, depending on availability and opportunity. With attacking reinforcements already secured in Pablo and Tati Castellanos, the club's focus is now firmly on tightening the defense. How West Ham address this issue in the coming weeks may well define the trajectory of their season. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the Claret and Blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. What remains once the headlines fade is a deeper reading of the moment West Ham United are going through. The recent high point of a derby victory and the ongoing discussion around defensive reinforcements are not isolated episodes, but clear indicators of a club searching for balance between identity, performance, and survival in the Premier League. Crescencio Somerville's display against Tottenham highlighted something West Ham have been craving for months: intensity with purpose. It was not simply a fast, skillful player enjoying a good afternoon, but someone who embraced responsibility, emotion, and pressure. His connection with the rivalry, the crowd, and the touchline suggests a player growing not only in confidence, but in mentality. At the same time, focusing solely on attacking sparks would be misleading. West Ham's defensive fragility has been a recurring theme, rooted not just in individual mistakes, but in the lack of an authoritative presence. Organization, communication, and game management have often been absent, and that reality frames the broader debate around Jamal Lascelles. Even without a transfer materializing, Lascelles' profile represents what the squad is currently missing. Experience, leadership, and familiarity with high-pressure environments are qualities that cannot be improvised mid-season. The discussion around his name reflects an internal acknowledgement that tactical tweaks alone will not solve structural issues at the back. There is also an emotional layer to this analysis. When a club begins to prioritize seasoned professionals over long-term projects, it signals a shift towards pragmatism. This is not ambition abandoned, but ambition delayed in favor of survival. West Ham have learned, sometimes painfully, that ignoring warning signs in the league table can be costly. Somerville's embrace of Nuno Espirito Santo after scoring feeds into this broader picture. It was not just support for the manager, but a moment of collective alignment. When players visibly buy into the manager's authority, especially under scrutiny, it creates a foundation of trust that can steady a turbulent season. The challenge now lies in consistency. West Ham have shown they can rise emotionally for big occasions, but the Premier League is defined by what happens away from the spotlight. Gritty matches, tired legs, and tight margins are where seasons are truly shaped. Ultimately, the current phase demands clarity rather than excitement. Somerville embodies momentum, belief, and forward drive. The conversation around Lascelles embodies control, correction, and realism. West Ham's fate this season will depend on how effectively those forces are balanced. If the club can align identity with leadership and measured decision-making, the objective moves beyond mere survival. It becomes about rebuilding credibility, stability, and pride, foundations that have always defined West Ham United at their strongest. And that's all for today's West Ham news. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with fellow fans, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, you Irons!